Okay.
Welcome, everybody. I think y'all might be as sad as I am because John's not here today. Dr. Cicero is not here today. And so we're trying to limp through. So I've done my best to pull together some big stars. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Stone Meredith, and I'm so happy to co-chair this with John. And so in his absence, I thought, well, let's get some talent. Let's get somebody whose autograph you might want to kick off the week. And so, of course, immediately I thought James Billings. So I tell you what we're going to do, Javier. We're going to put up a shared screen. And James, if you don't mind, since you're our big star, would you take John's place today and get us in the right frame of mind after a big Thanksgiving and share this for everybody with us?
I'd be happy to. Thank you. I don't think I'll be able to do justice. John has this down pat, but I'll give it my best shot.
Thank
So,
you.
as with all things, we want to kick off with our vision and mission. As we know, our vision is to be an inclusive and innovative university serving lifelong learners who will contribute to the positive transformation of our society. I love that vision, by the way, because it's not just about changing their lives, but it's about changing our whole society. And that really is what our vision is for us at National University. Our mission, as you know, is to deliver accessible, world-class student experience by providing quality programs and services that will ensure our student success through meaningful learning. And then we balance those on our kind of three core pillars. We're always looking for that next gen education. That is a hot topic right now, particularly as AI is becoming center of our world here, is trying to figure out how to balance those needs there, along with our whole human education to support the whole human and all our unique adult learners and Anders, and along with value-rich education. We build that off of our foundation, of course, of having our SJEDI, or our ability to really focus on that whole human infrastructure. And we're actually seeing a lot of progress in this area as an institution, advancing in our cause research and research areas and professional development. And then we, as a university of faculty and staff, we balance that with our ways of work, that we're constantly looking to champion student success, building trust between ourselves, our students, and the communities that we serve. We advance our inclusion, we embrace accountability, and we always strive to make things better in all the things that we do.
See, that's how I got to be a big star, y'all. That was pretty darn good, James. Thank you so much. And it's so nice. I like your laugh too on top of it. Also, it really worked out. Well, another big star who's really educated us a lot in this last, I'd say, 6 weeks really, is our own Dr. Jody Reeves. Jody, you're back, and you're going to clean the deck and get rid of a lot of old business and push us forward today, I believe. And if it's all right with you, Jody, if we've got Sheila and David ready to go, we'll start with our AI Council update, and I'll let you introduce them and toss it over to them for a little bit.
That sounds fantastic. And with an introduction like that, it really sets a great tone for the next hour and a half. Thank you so much, Stone. Happy December, everyone. It's my great pleasure to introduce the AI Council Chair and Co-Chair. David and Sheila will be giving us an update on what's been going on in AI here at National University. Thank you both so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you for having us and happy December. I can't believe it's December already. I hope it's absolutely crazy. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. So, as far as AI goes, we have been working really hard behind the scenes to work on a foundation for the AI Council going forward. And that is really driven on a strategic purpose, vision, and plan for implementation. Sheila, thank you for putting these slides together for us today.
My pleasure.
And uh, what we're going to work on is immediate innovators, getting AI into assignments so that students learn to use AI ethically, think critically, and use their own voice, changing the way we assess learning, and collaborating to do this better. So we have been and are continuing to work across academia at National University to ensure that we capture all the great work everyone's already been doing, as well as find ways that we can propel ourselves forward. Um, and we will be presenting a proposal and a plan to Dr. Milliron in the coming weeks that will really set our sights forward on our initiative to get AI incorporated into student outcomes and student learning within National University. Sheila, you want to talk about
Yeah.
anything?
Thank you, David. And the other thing that we just wanted you to know as AAC and as faculty, staff, students, everyone, is we've heard you. Dr. Milliron has heard you. Duncan, I know 2 weeks ago, everyone is just they have an opinion. They're if you're faculty, you're experiencing it, even as staff. So you have been heard. And I really wanted to just make that just resoundingly clear. The other thing is we've been doing is we have created a strategic vision, a strategic plan, a communication plan, an execution plan. They're drafts and we have really been socializing those. So some of you may have been asked to come in alongside. We just want to link arms with you because no one can do this alone. And the bottom thing that David and I were just talking about before the meeting is we've all had AI. This is like the biggest change initiative in the world. AI has been done kind of to us all. So now everyone's trying to scramble and figure it out. But I appreciate what Duncan brought up a couple of weeks ago, that students are bringing it up, faculty are bringing it up, staff, there's all kinds of parts and pieces to this. But Dr. Milliron wanted the AI Council revamped, and he doesn't just want it down the road, he wants it like immediately. So that's why we're really coming to you. We're working with the EEC to work on, Bloom's, the GATE framework, along with the AI part, bringing it in. So we also want to share with you, here's kind of where we've landed after collaboration on the 3 pillars of NU. David, you want to talk about this real quick, and then I can come in.
Oh yeah, sure. So our first pillar is teaching, learning, and assessment. As it says here, the strategy will emphasizes the use of AI in teaching, learning, and assessments to enhance academic transformation and student success. That's the first pillar, which will have teams and subcommittees behind it to help create that work and launch it forward. The second pillar is AI technology and user experience. And this is really going to focus on the systems and technology readiness to improve AI's integration and user experience in academia and administrative areas. And the last pillar is AI for institutional vitality. And AI supports institutional vitality by streamlining operations and enhancing organizational efficiency and holistic change. So those are the 3 pillars that we've settled on. They will all have subcommittees behind those pillars that I welcome anyone who wants to come in and help work with those subcommittees to help get those pillars up and going and move those initiatives forward would be great.
And
Sheila?
running through these will be communication and of course change. Because with change, when I do personalities, 86% of the world hate change. Change is a process. And for 14% of the world, change is just an event. Let's go. I'm ready. How can I help? So we're hoping that we can be the immediate innovators through these 3 pillars. So if you have any questions or you want to be a part of this, I put the AI Council web SharePoint site on there. At the very bottom, it says contact us. We check that frequently. So just let us know, send us an email, let us know you're interested, especially if you're interested in one of the 3 pillars that you'd like to work with. We are welcoming doers. We really, because this is something Dr. Milliron, I didn't know until I started working with David Bridgman that Dr. Milliron has a tech background and is pretty savvy in all this. So he knows what's coming down the pike, and he definitely wants us to remain leading edge and to still stay relevant. But the biggest thing I put on the top line here is it isn't just championing student success, it's making a difference in their lives and making their lives better. And that's the biggest piece of this is we have to graduate proficient and literate students in AI to help with where they're going and who they're going to be working with. So any questions, comments, anything else you'd like for us to visit about?
Sheila, we
Yeah.
have a question. Can you put that link in the chat?
Sure
I'm doing
can.
right now.
Okay.
Thank you. And I just want to clarify while we're here, because I've had the pleasure of leveraging some talents that I would have put in a different place, and y'all helped me find where I belong. So I just want to clarify this. Somebody's interested, whether they like change or they don't, they realize they need to get involved. Would the best thing to do to be to write and say, here's my skill set, here's my experience, I'm happy to help, and then you'll work together with them the way you did with me to find out where your skills can be used most importantly, or would you rather have somebody say, I prefer to go here? What are you looking for? Can you tell us a little bit more about that, what you're looking for if somebody wants to write and offer to contribute?
Certainly, in any of the three pillars, we kind of have front of the house academics and faculty. We kind of have that the Lex and the how, when we're reimagining assignments that's coming alongside, but they're kind of in academics as well because they're creating courses, right, and redeveloping. And then that last is kind of the back of the house, the operations, the technology, the infrastructures. And if you're an AI like proficient guru and you're that top 1% right now that you want the latest shiny, greatest Gemini, the latest thing that just came out, any of that third pillar. So any of those though where you're interested, because we definitely want to link arms with you and collaborate. This is not just an us and doing it too. This is not a mandate. This is that we all have to be the innovators right now and really help our students.
And it's across all disciplines, across all departments. This is a full court press, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions? Jody, anybody have anything else you want to? Jody has a question, or her hand is raised. She has a comment.
Yes, thank you. Actually, I have two, one more philosophical and one more technical. So, philosophically speaking, I love David and Sheila, what you said about help is on the way. But what I hear often from my faculty colleagues are a bimodal request for help. Some are like, I want it in everything. I don't want AI in anything. So, could you elaborate a little bit? It sounds like you're more pro AI and adding it. Is that the kind of help you're offering?
AI is here. It's kind of, I love Cynthia Johnson. She's like, we need to be on the bullet train because it's kind of like when we got computers, when we got email, when we got a smartphone, it's here. Our students are using it. So what we're proposing, and that's why we want you to link arms too and get faculty involved with us to reimagine assignments that purposefully put AI into assignments. We don't have to change curriculum. We don't have to change course learning outcomes. It's more the way we do business and the way we do assignments. But let's teach our students how to do prompt engineering. And we're going to teach our faculty first. That's why we put training and development in there. We want our faculty to learn it safely in a secure environment and to where there's no threats on this. We just want to teach you how to do it and do it safely and in this walled community of NU. So yes, Jody, we have to get our students proficient at this, at least literate, and our faculty as well, because we have faculty, some who kind of like, where do I find Copilot on my computer, all the way to, man, I want Gemini 3, I want Grok, I want all of those things. So we know students are using it. We know they are. So the thing is, instead of beating them over the head with, and we want them to do it, we want to teach how to do it ethically, and also how to still keep that critical thinking. That's why we're looking at the GATE and the Bloom's taxonomy and adding the AI pieces to it. But we still want them to use their own voice. So if you reimagine assignments to where they're using AI, like give me the prompt you use, give me what tool you use, and give me what they gave you back. They put that into their paper and into their response, then it's okay for them to use AI, because I've had some professors say, do not use AI. And it's like, they're using it, they're going to use it. So we just have to keep that ethical and critical thinking and that innovation in with our students, because what they say by 2028, 50% of the businesses and organizations are going to be, have AI embedded, and we have to have students that can do that. We had an AI council in Covet 3 months ago. One of our doctoral students graduated, and now she's enrolled in IBM to get AI literacy because we didn't have AI classes or embed that in. So we just don't want that to happen. Yulia?
Thank you, Sheila. Yes, I just want to support what Sheila is saying. I wanted to share, I just attended the OLC conference where I had the pleasure to present with a lot of my colleagues from different schools and LEX department, and also the library. And the keynote speaker for the whole conference was on AI and AI literacy, and how, everything is changing. If we're not jumping on a train is basically we're going to be under the train. There's a lot of opportunities with AI and a lot of ways how we can talk about our relationship with students, how we can implement that literacy for the students and the faculty. Because to Sheila's point is how we're using it ethically, how it's going to change and already changing the job market. So we cannot just hide from it. I think we're talking about high class education and whole human education, and this will be part of it. So I think it would be wise to implement strategy of how embrace it.
Absolutely. 100%.
And we welcome your feedback. Please contact us. Let us know what, because I mean, like Duncan, I know you brought a lot of things up last week, 2 weeks ago. How can we solve that? And we are problem solvers together. We're the innovators. And Jody, I think you had one more thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry, David.
No, Jody had another question. Jody, can you just go ahead and ask your question for the group, please?
Yeah, it was, while I agree with a lot of what you said, Sheila, I've just redesigned the class I'm teaching this month because I don't want them to use Copilot to make death by PowerPoint bulleted lists when they're giving their technical presentations
Yep.
for MS Capstone. So I agree 98% with what you're saying, but please let us faculty have the academic freedom to know when it's good to use it, when it's good not to use it, how to use it well, how to use it ethically. And I just dropped a link in the chat on one of the newer terms I've heard in the last month, AI slop. Which at our last COBIT meeting, we got reprimanded by our assessment director for, hey, you guys who use Copilot to do your APARs, at least read what you put in there because it didn't match the data that was there. So again,
Yeah, I think
part of AI education isn't just using it, but it's using it wisely and sometimes stepping away from it. So that was just the second thing I wanted to
that's
say.
an excellent, excellent.
When appropriate, Jody, because some assignments aren't appropriate to use it.
Right. Absolutely. And I think the faculty needs to make that determination. We're not, as an AI council, we're not here to say, you must put AI in your courses, you must do this, you must do that. It's where it's appropriate. Our ultimate goal here is to train students on the ethical use and how to use it properly for business. And when they graduate from us, when they leave us, to give them the tools and the power to be able to go and compete with others in the workforce and in the real world. And we also need to put boundaries around that and tell them when it's not appropriate, because those boundaries are in the corporate world as well. Don't use it here, use it here. That all needs to be spelled out as well.
Thank you, David.
Duncan had was popped up. Did you have a question, Duncan?
Not really. I was actually going to send this by email, invite you and Sheila to meet with the FAC at some point down the road. That way we can talk directly to faculty, but I'll email you rather than take up the committee's time.
Oh, thank you. I would love that. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The more I can talk and get out there and share our vision, share the story, share the purpose of where we're trying to get to, the better. And that's really what we want.
And we need your input. We really do. Thank you, guys.
We're not in a vacuum doing this. We need support from everyone.
And I don't know if y'all noticed, but George Beckwith made an interesting point. I'll read it in the chat. In our teacher education classes, we are finding that many schools and school districts are already using a variety of AI tools to teach and prepare lesson plans. We are learning about using AI in teaching from our teacher candidates. And I think that gets back to where James started us, right, with our ways of work. So just to clarify, as we give people a chance to maybe consider a question, it sounds like to me, this, old dog from the humanities, that what we're really talking about is literacy. Is that what you're really talking about? Developing a program of AI literacy
and fluency and proficiency.
Right, because if you're literate in AI, then you would know when not to bore us to death with the PowerPoint and when to use AI to leverage your work and when to use AI. Because another note that someone has shared with me personally is with some work I was able to be involved in about teaching students how to track their use of AI over time. It's becoming so popular and so necessary in the corporate world, but where would they learn that? And as someone has noted to me who wishes to remain nameless, it is not just about writing one paper at National. It's, the whole experience. So we see it in undergraduate, master's, and PhD and EDD. This idea that if you don't track your AI usage over time, it's going to be real hard to go back 3 classes later. So is this what you're talking about, that encompassing idea of AI literacy, knowing what it is, and then that ethical piece of when to deploy it?
Absolutely, 100%. Yes, Stone.
Hit the
Great.
target.
Yep.
And the last thing I will leave you with is we know too that students are, cutting and pasting assessments and quizzes into AI and coming back with 100, skewing GPAs. So that's another piece, is coming back and reimagining how are we going to do assessment now to assess learning, truly.
Mhm.
So those are some pieces too that we have some great ideas, but we absolutely value yours. And Yulia, you're spot on. David Wade and I have been at ACBSP conference the last 2 times, and AI has stolen the show. My husband went to an AI and auditing conference. AI was top of the heap for everything. So it isn't just our industry, but definitely our university is we're there. We're on a bullet train, and we need you all on there with us.
Yep.
Anyone else have anything to share or ask?
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, everybody. I have to say it, though. Hard to get away from Aristotle. It seems we come back to ethos, logos, and pathos no matter what tool pops up. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Holly has shared, my daughter in high school has AP homework involving AI components, ChatGPT. It
Yep.
is coming. Holly, thank you for sharing that, because I think just the more tangible examples we see of who's coming to meet us in these college classes. Thank you, David. Thank you, Sheila. Jody, you didn't go anywhere, did you?
I'm
Do
right
we
here.
still have Jody? Okay, great. Because guess what, y'all? Jody's going to teach us again. Jody's going to tell us about
Oh.
updates, I believe, on the hybrid attendance rosters and VA requirements. Is that right, Jody?
Well, we were going to bring up the topic again today, just as a refresher. Last week or last meeting, we took about an hour talking about student attendance. So we looked at 3 different flavors. One, students being kicked out of capstones because they were part of a team and not able to be seen, so to speak. And I think the solution to that is on a program by program basis, where each APD has to make sure there's individual assessments built into the class so they have a reason to go in and be seen. So I think that that element of ghost students, the ones who are actually active and not ghosts, are not getting kicked out. So I think we have a solution by program for that. So thank you to everyone and all the colleges and schools who shared what they were doing that worked with them. I think that helps those who are struggling with this problem, especially in capstones, to have some workarounds. So let's mark that one. Check, addressed, done, moving forward. Yay, always love to have those. The second one was students who are enrolled in our classes, but they never attend our Zoom sessions, or they don't put anything online, and they get an F in the class because they didn't do anything, but they go to the next class and the next class and the next class. So that's a different kind of ghost student who's just lingering in our class lists but not participating. And so we were very fortunate last time to have Alan Coddington, Sarah Macy, and Candace White come and talk about the touch points of advisors, academic leaders, and faculties to students, and what to do. We learned from Alan that part of our National University policy is that students' GPA is evaluated every 4th class. So you unfortunately can get 4 Fs, have a 0 GPA, be put on probation, and then you have another period to try and rectify that 0 GPA. So students could persist up to 8 courses, getting low grades, not meeting GPA, before the registrar system takes some action. The follow-up question to that is, in many of the programs where we have prerequisites, you have to pass statistics 1 before you can go to statistics 2, and you have to pass that one to go to statistics 3. So I had asked, are grade rosters being monitored to make sure that those prereqs are being fulfilled? And that they said they would have to check on. Alan, Sarah, or Candace, I don't think they're here today. I didn't get an update about that. Does anyone here on the AAC, maybe James or others, have an update on that using grade rosters?
I don't have an update on that.
Okay, so that unfortunately, Stone, we can't do. Check. We'll keep it
Okay.
pending. We'll look into it. I know December is a crazy month, whether we can get more information by the next time, but for sure by January. So that's still an open item of grade roster monitoring for prereq fulfillment of these ghost students. Because by policy, we can't just, I guess, kick someone out for not submitting things. Then the third one was hybrid attendance. So that might be a course running at Spectrum, where many faculty have told me in many programs, departments, schools, and colleges that sometimes more than half of their students are gone or not showing up. And so when faculty have seen emails from Veterans Affairs at nu.edu, they those emails are encouraging faculty to set up additional sessions with missing students so that they qualify for their San Diego housing. Otherwise, if
Mm-hmm.
you aren't attending in person as part of the hybrid course, then you can't be certified with your housing benefits because you didn't attend in person. But what Alan Coddington seemed to say at our last AAC meeting is that they certify based on enrollment into a hybrid course, and they're not checking attendance rosters. And so that was flagged as kind of a, really? Are we sure? What's the whole story? So that too, I think, is pending. I haven't received any more information about hybrid attendance and those certification. If anyone here at the AAC has some information, love to hear it. Otherwise, sorry, we'll have to keep that on our old business agenda moving forward.
Jody, one quick, and maybe you can share some of this more offline. But you mentioned that somebody's encouraging the faculty to schedule additional in-person sessions just for folks to get the student. When we moved to the 2 sessions per course hybrid model, was purposely to do away with that practice, because we heard a lot of faculty were scheduling sessions literally just for them to show up, almost like at the end of the course, there's really nothing for them to do, and they're just showing up, and they would refer to it as babysitting. So we try to do away with that as an institution and schedule 2 sessions so that there's always at least a second opportunity for a faculty or a student to attend. But if somebody is still encouraging that practice, maybe you could share more of that offline, because I thought we had tried to do away with that practice, and that's why we moved to that model a while back.
Yeah, agreed. And it was just shared in early November. Someone had reached out to faculty about that. So it might be a sporadic, an advisor or two rather than a systematic thing. But just to reiterate, the systematic question is, we faculty who teach in person see that not very many people are coming. And students are telling us, well, it doesn't matter if I come or not, I still get my military benefits. And that's the question is, if they don't attend either session, they shouldn't be getting their housing benefits, and there should be some consequences, but faculty aren't quite sure what. Sheila, did you have a question or comment?
I did, Jody. With military, I know at one point a couple of weeks ago, you said that, we have people that do fly in from Arizona or Texas or other places, but I think the misunderstanding is they're getting California rates. They're not. They just have to attend. So as a military spouse, that they're not coming for California rates. They're just coming to get their military benefits, period, in whatever state they're from. And the other thing is the VA checks that. We're not the VA police or the military police. We're in charge of the attendance rosters as faculty. So we fill them out, we sign them, and then that's up to them. With that isn't part of, I don't think, what we do. We fill that out and we do our part. And so then that's up to them to do their part. So that's just to me, I've taught hybrid as well with NU, and being on the military side too as a spouse, that's kind of what I know. So anyway, and the other thing too is I know at one point they said we're offering it twice, and to James's point, at least they can attend one. That's again up to the VA. We hope they come to all of them, both of them. We hope all of our students do, but for sure the people that need the housing, we hope they attend too. But that's again up to the VA. As long as they, if they want to take one, that's on them. But we just do our part by teaching, being there, and taking the role and signing that they were there or not there. That helps at all.
Thank you, Sheila. I appreciate your perspective. And I too am not an expert on, it's not my job to certify benefits, but when I have a couple dozen people enrolled in a hybrid course and I see 5 of them, to me, that's not building student success. And so I really do take the mission, vision, values seriously, that if we're offering hybrid courses, students should get some value to coming to campus to being with me in the classroom, right? It's not just death by PowerPoint. I guess I mentioned that twice now in this meeting. And I do worry in a previous lifetime here at NU, I know there were a lot of strict oversights through state compliance. I don't think Letty was here at the last meeting. I'm not sure if she's here today to share insights, but I know we've gotten cease and desist letters from states when some of our students went to their boards to complain about NU, and they said, hold on, what are you doing? Your program isn't authorized in our state. So I just hope that if people are flying in to San Diego, that our program is approved in the state that they're coming from.
I am here. I didn't attend the last meeting, but I have been informed of this situation. I did also share it with the state authorization team because many of the programs that students are enrolled in appear to be on the approved list. So it's more of a residential piece. So I would say this might just need to be a question that needs to be directed to the state authorization team to confirm there's no issues. And then also probably with the VA team to confirm about the housing allowance and whether or not the actual on-site attendance is a requirement.
I do know after the last presentation, they took some of the feedback, and I do know they are revisiting all those regulations to make sure we're still compliant in what we do and how we do it. So I know there is that group is looking into that. I don't have an update, as I mentioned, I don't have an update, but I know they're actively looking at that.
Great, thank you, everyone. And I don't want to take another hour of the whole meeting revisiting these things. So Stone, maybe I could say let's wait for the offline discussions to occur and the detailed things, and invite the folks back maybe in January to revisit the out-of-state student piece, the hybrid attendance, military. Sound okay?
But that sounds great. What I was going to ask is, would you mind being in charge of that? And then maybe our first meeting in January, we can put it under old business and you can gather us back together and we'll pick up and see what we found.
I'm happy to pester James and John about it to get the right people to get the right answers. Yes. Pester in chief. I will.
That sounds fabulous. And just want to call out that Matt Bruce has asked, can attendance requirements be stipulated in the syllabi? As far as I know, that's pretty standard practice, but somebody more knowledgeable than me and certainly with more horsepower needs to answer that question maybe. James, do you want to tackle that one?
Yeah, I mean, I can't speak to faculty's individual syllabi, but I will say I know because I was part of that committee about a year or so ago. The language, the attendance language in the catalog says that students are expected to attend all in-person sessions. What we don't go so far in the catalog to say, because again, that's a little bit up to the faculty and individual courses. Like, we don't have language that says, but if you missed the second session, you're going to be dismissed from the course regardless of what you did, or if you didn't attend. But like, we don't really go to that level of kind of talking about the consequences, but we do have language in there that also says it could have an impact on your academic performance in the course. So if faculty have activities they've scheduled during those in-person sessions, students may fail to get the points for that. So we do say that they are expected to attend that, but we don't dictate points or things like that. That's left up to individual faculty to decide on their courses, kind of thing. So.
So to restate, it is part of our culture that attendance is mentioned, discussed, part of every syllabus. What someone does with that can vary depending on their discipline and the requirements of the course.
Yeah, no, the expectation is that they attend all sessions. How that's managed from a course to course, varies. And and faculty obviously use their own wisdom, because these are Anders, so sometimes there's reasons they miss, and some faculty want to
Right.
do a makeup assignment, some don't. Like, again, I'm not going to start dictating how faculty manage their courses in that sense.
Well, that made everybody happy. That's what the faculty's looking to hear. Thank you, James. Anybody else have comments before we agree? We're going to come back and get more updates from our trust and verify source, Jody. Okay. Well, I say we move on to standing and ad hoc committee updates. Y'all want to? Okay, it looks like kind of a lean list, but if anybody's changed their mind, we're certainly ready for it. For academic technology structure, Jen, am I correct? There's no update?
Just assumed you could see me. Yes, that's right.
Oh, thank you. Okay, educational effectiveness, Elizabeth and Amanda, I'm assuming that that's correct. There's no updates to share right now?
Correct.
Thank you. Jody, the curriculum group, transition policy language revision.
Yes, I guess is the trifecta of me talking at the meeting today. At our curriculum committee meeting last week, Valerie Norden had talked about a request from the governance committee. Folks in the AAC might remember a few months ago, there's a new policy going into the future catalog about transition programs, the ones where you're a bachelor's degree student but can take some master's degree courses to kind of accelerate your pathway, have them count in each place. And so the AAC approved language includes a specific list of those programs. And what the request was is, hey, that list changes a lot. Can we take it out of the policy part and put it in the program part of the catalog? Which, after some discussion among the curriculum committee, we all unanimously agreed that seemed wise. It's important to have it in the catalog, but we thought it best in the program specific part rather than generic transition. So I wanted to bring it back to the AAC. Does anyone have any concerns or would like to vote no to doing that?
We'll give everybody a minute to think about that.
Well, I would say it's important to put it in the program area, because the problem with these transition, we have several in COLPS. The problem with them is that the student gets almost through with the bachelor's and then suddenly learns, oh my God, I could have taken a couple of courses, and it's too late. Then it's too late. So putting it in the program area seems to be a very good idea to me.
Agreed.
My
Thank
2
you,
cents.
Jen. Well, it's worth at least 3 cents, I think.
At least 3, right? Anyone else want to add? Jody, anything you'd like to share before we scoot on down the list?
Nope, I'll take silence as affirmation. I'll let Valerie know that the AAC has approved that change. So thank you, everyone.
Yeah, that was hard work. So thank you, Jody, for sharing that. Okay, faculty affairs, Duncan.
Nope, we're all clear.
We're all
Thank you.
clear?
Yep, for the moment.
Look at Duncan the Wizard, wild at work following the Thanksgiving holidays. We love that, Duncan. All right. Matt, the operations, it looks like we've got an update on the AAC charter review and the AAC operations charter review. That sounds pretty heady.
Yeah, we're not too deep into it yet, but just beginning the work to have those 2 charters align with the new tri-governance model that we will be moving towards with the new approved faculty policies. And so we've just begun that work during our last meeting, and we'll continue it again this week as well in our next meeting. Again, as John cautioned everyone, this doesn't necessarily need to be reflective in next month's charter or anything like that. So we're just moving down the road so as we kind of roll it out in the next fiscal year, we're in alignment. And so once we have done our initial review, we will bring those recommended changes to the committee for your own review. And then we'll work towards approving those new charter. Again, not really changing too much substantively, but more just to reflect the tri-governance model. So more changing nomenclature and things like that.
So more alignment kind of work really than structural change.
So, right now, a lot of language around faculty handbook committee, reflecting the new faculty assembly that will be established, the new committees that were approved to be a part of AAC, things along those lines, and then the composition of what makes up the AAC, and what will move towards the faculty assembly.
Wow, sounds like we've got a lot of good updates coming our way with y'all's hard work. Thank you.
Yeah, just one other item. We did have our undergraduate student representative drop off. We're unable to continue to volunteer within the AAC, and so we have asked within the schools for some recommendations. And so, based off of the Operations Committee charter, we are bringing recommendations to the co-chairs to select a new undergraduate student representative. So those will be sent to you later this week for John and Stone's review.
Well, that's something to look forward to. Thank you. Anybody
it.
have anything for Matt? Thank you, Matt. AZ, am I correct in assuming you have no updates, just a smiley face and a cute background?
Well, since I sent Javier the note saying that we had no updates, I did remember that
Okay.
I wanted to flag for everyone just because we've had a few questions about it, that the new staff awards were previously approved, everything's in action, but we've had some questions with people saying, like, when am I going to hear something about that? And you will be hearing about those awards at the same time as the announcement goes out about all university awards. That's going to happen in January. The SAC really wants to thank Christine Becker for all the work that she puts into, organizing awards, and she's been great about coordinating with us and getting everything added for these new awards as well. So just a reminder to folks that those will come in January with the rest of the notifications about university awards and how to nominate people for them. So
Thank you. That's exciting. I know we're also proud to have those awards be added to the ones given. So thank you for that. Anybody have anything for AZ? Okay. See, I knew everybody was going to be in a good mood and ready to get it going today. If it's all right with everybody, we'll move to the initiatives and collaborative committee updates. And we'll go to Yulia for the first one, the LMS Infrastructure and Sustainability Committee. Yulia, do you have anything to share today?
Not today.
Thank you so much. Well, I know that we have faculty, I think it was the faculty student mentoring update that Jen was going to offer us. Jen, is that right? Did I get it right?
Yep.
Oh, good.
So faculty student mentoring, they met a couple weeks ago, and their meeting focused on planning and implementing faculty student mentor training scheduled for November, which includes didactic sessions, role play, and work on outreach strategies using a new data dashboard. They discussed the development of consolidated information systems, which will help faculty manage the student interactions and direct students to the appropriate support personnel. So they have plans to test and implement this dashboard for the upcoming training sessions. The meeting ended with discussion around how to improve the student portal and creating a faculty resources page to better handle the overflow and facilitate communication. And their next steps. They're going to complete the review of the second half of the faculty student mentoring training content. They're going to develop a simple form for faculty to document their work. They're also going to ensure student support contact document is made available to APDs and broader faculty access. And they're exploring putting that on SharePoint, as well as creating a template. And they're also continuing to work on updating the APD hover over and pop-up text on the student portal to provide clearer guidance on when and why to contact the APDs. So I hope I did that
Wow.
justice. That's what I had.
Anybody have any thoughts or ideas for Jen while she's here? Okay, big star James Billings, come back and tell us if there are any, thank you, Jen, and tell us, James, if there are any wings updates for today.
Yeah, we just about two hours ago or so, we had our Wings Steerco meeting. So I know Jim was in there with me. I think we had a couple others. Had good updates. Everything is moving along. I think everybody should know at this point the new Anthology go live date will be June. And so in June is when we'll make that switch over off of SOAR and Compass onto Anthology. So all the major projects that go along with that seem to be moving along according to schedule. We've been having a number of conversations all the way up to our president, President Milliron has been talking both with Anthology and the new owners. I think some folks may be aware that Anthology went through a bankruptcy process, so there's going to be new owners for the products that we use. But overall, folks that are more involved and understand that better than I do feel pretty comfortable that actually may be a positive change as we move forward with that. And so that seems to be not causing any delays as they make the switch to the new ownership of the student information system of Anthology. Other pieces of what Anthology owns will be sold off to other companies, but that seems to be going well. So, and then our big one particularly for the academic side, we launched Navigate last week. We kept a number of our academic technology folks on staff throughout the Thanksgiving holiday in case of any things that from a technical side, any issues. And I just met with that team this morning as well. And they said overall it was great. We had one or two little technical questions and tickets that arose, but none of them were really anything that was wrong in Anthology, but more kind of typical LTIs or other systems that weren't working that had to do more with those vendors. There was an issue which has now been resolved where there was some of the content was not appearing correctly in the MyNU, that kind of landing page for our students when we moved over to Anthology. So that's has since been resolved. But from a technical side, Anthology was launched successfully. And so we now have students and faculty in there. Our OLS department, as expected, received a number of tickets and questions around particularly faculty permissions and course editing and things like that. And that was to be expected. And so we're addressing those as we go through with the faculty and APDs. But overall, another successful step as we move forward. And again, just for clarification, only group-based faculty and students were moved over last week into Navigate. The plan for the moment, if you teach in the NCU 1 or the individual-based courses, those will go live into Navigate and when we go live with Anthology in June. So still several months away before we make that last conversion and get us all in one house kind of thing. But overall, it went very well. So
thank you so much. Does anybody have anything for James?
And Jim, you were in the Steerco meeting. I don't know if anything you wanted to add, but you're on mute, but I think he's fine.
No, I'm sorry. No, you covered it. I wouldn't have anything to add to it.
Okay, sounds good.
Anyone else? Well, Javier is pretty darn good at details, and according to Javier's agenda, there's no new business. Anyone have anything to share for the good of the order? All right, well, John's gonna be so proud of us. We went through everything. Everybody had a big time. Everybody got to share. Everybody got asked to ask questions. Our ways of work are in play, James. So thank you for starting the meeting. Thank you, everybody, for coming and for all that you do. We'll be real excited to see y'all next time. Until then, we'll see y'all down the trail.
Recording